I think without a shadow of a doubt, the most difficult moments of the entire experience I had with Amanda, who I was married to for 25 years and she passed away from alcohol use disorder, was having to call our son to let him know that his mother had passed away. And I remember the day that she passed away, it was really a grueling, grueling day. We had to run down there because we didn't have much time. She had been failing much worse than we thought. We had to turn the machines off. Ultimately, she passed away. And I remember sitting in the room just kind of stunned. And eventually I walked outside and walked down into the parking structure. I just needed to get some air. And I remember the first phone call, I called my brother and then I called my sister. And they both asked me, so have you talked to Griffin yet? And I think subconsciously, I think it was just something I just didn't even want to deal with. He had been away at college. He was in Santa Cruz. He's about 500 miles north. And there was no point in pulling him out of college to come see his mother. She was essentially in a coma the last 28 days of her life. And there was really no point. And I didn't really want him to even see her at that point. I didn't want him to remember her. She was in a terrible physical state. And it wasn't something that I'm glad we didn't, quite honestly. But having to make that phone call was very difficult. I mean, he knew when I called why I was calling. There's no question. And, he did cry. And it was like, God, he was all alone in college. This isn't what you want to do. This is why alcoholics need to think about the road they're going down. I don't know if it's a deterrent, but you need to think about how you're affecting the people in your life. And really, as a father, I was really kind of relieved that he was away at college and away from all the drama of Amanda's last few months, to be honest with you. He was away from it. I was glad he had gone. He had his own life in college. He was a freshman in college back then. He was only 19 when his mother passed away. It was very sad. And the thing is, he deserved so much more than the mother that he had. I deserved certainly much more than the wife that I had. And if you think about it, Amanda deserved better for herself. And I don't think she was able to take care of herself, unfortunately, and make herself a priority. You have to realize, when you're an alcoholic, those drinks after dinner and on the weekend that develop into something much deeper. You have to be consciously aware of the end of the road is far worse and uglier than you could possibly think of. Think about the people that you genuinely love in your life, and to think that, they might have to bury you because you can't control your alcohol intake, because you've become addicted to it. And instead of realizing that and facing your denial and your deflective and you're putting it on everyone else, think about what you're actually doing. I hope you have a conscious moment if you're in that situation where you're kind of caught into the web of alcohol use disorder. Think about not just yourself for once. Think about how you're affecting the people in your life and the long-term effects and how that's going to reverberate down the ages. And the thing is, Amanda was a very kind, loving person. She loved her son immensely. She loved me immensely. She would say it all the time. I love you guys more than life itself. She always used to say that. And the thing is, I say, well, why can't you stop drinking? Look how the effect that you're having on us. And unfortunately, when you go down the road too far and you get too caught into the web and you become physically and emotionally and psychologically addicted, it becomes more powerful than any rational thought process. There's no real deterrent that's going to get in the way of that, not even your own passing. It becomes more addictive than your own life, more addictive than your relationships or your own health. And she had immense health problems because of the alcohol. That's why it's important to get this, the sooner the better. So if you are struggling with alcohol use yourself, just sit back for a moment and think how you're affecting the people that you truly love in your life. And think about what would happen if you suddenly were no longer in their life because of this disease. And how would that trauma affect them? How would, just the overall story of you passing in this particular way, how would that affect you? I don't know if it's a deterrent, but it's certainly something to think about. And it's a road that really every alcoholic's going to go down if they don't nip it in the bud. There is only this road that you're going to end up going down. It's progressive. It will get worse. Understand that, and to hope you have the ability to take action on that knowledge. Think about what the world would be without you in it. Kind of reverse engineer it and think about the suffering that would happen with you gone. And again, you can find this story and so many others in Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find it on the link tree right on this page if you're in the United States. It's also, the ebook is on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, and it's on the Apple website. Outside the United States, I'm looking for another publisher to get in Europe and Canada and Australia and all points in between. Again, I also have the coaching program. It's called, Set Up a Breakthrough Call. Link is in the bio again. It takes about 45 minutes or so. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you. The alcoholic has to be on the phone call. Okay, it's not a fact-finding mission. It's not about checking balances and things. It's about, I'm looking for people who are ready to change their lives and the lives of their family ultimately. And again, thanks for listening.